You know a lot about retail.
It's like I said, I'm 100% retail background, and that's where I grew up with a retail.
Family has a retail
family,
operation.
Retail, but yeah, I mean it's retail. I mean that's what I'm not. These guys are artists here, and my job here is to make sure that they can get paid to do art for a living.
Okay.
You know, many people that have worked here in the past work here now. Some of the artists we work with on the outside that provide us content that we then, do something with, probably couldn't make a living on their own, despite their brilliant art. And my job is to come in and attach things like margin to it and make sure that it works. Now, that said, I'm not saying I'm not crazy. I'm completely out of my mind.
Right.
And which sort of lets us do things that, and we keep sticking our nose into these industries that we know nothing about. Like, we're gonna do TV. Okay, we'll do TV. And everybody that I know that does TV is all like, "Oh, you can't do TV. It's really hard to do TV. No one will talk to you." There's always been these different entertainment industries. There's the publishing industry and the TV industry and the film industry and the music industry, and they're all smashing together right now.
Okay.
And different parts of them have already smashed together a long time ago, and it's weird that no one else got that. So like Borders a long time ago, I mean, it's probably been over 10 years now, has sold books, music, and movies.
It's been over 10
It's
years.
been a long time.
Yeah.
Borders Books and Music is, where, the company on their purchase orders, it says Borders Books and Music. And it's weird that all those industries, that the production end of those, the retail has figured it out. And the production, in some sense, has figured it out. Like, obviously there are these big media conglomerates that own all these companies that do all these different things.
Right.
But it's shocking how much those different branches do not talk to each other.
So they're really functioning as separate businesses, although they're in a big conglomerate.
Right. So like Warner Music does not speak with Warner Film and Broadcasting. You'd think that they would, but they don't.
Okay.
So, like we technically are making stuff for Time Warner because, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Turner, AOL, Time Warner.
Right.
Right. So, but we have people from Warner Brothers Music that have no idea who to call over here if they need, or like,
right.
If we wanted to use something on Warner Brothers Music in one of our cartoons, it would be a whole new thing to try to start up. Like, there's absolutely zero connection, even though they are technically the same company.
Right.
Which is, I guess, they're huge. It's understandable. Turner has their own, Time Warner has their own expedited delivery service. So when we get legal documents from Time Warner, they come in from a Time Warner delivery dude here in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, really?
Like, it's that big of a company that they have their own FedEx.
Okay.
Which was surprising.
So we were starting to talk about video, and you're raising the
sorry.
interesting question about sort of how combining these things helps. But let's kind of get back. How did you start on the video end?
We were making educational videos for my dad's company.
And that's pretty much how you founded Quack, right?
Yeah, we just, my dad was encouraging me to make these videos, and
which shows then there is sort of this artistic content production side there.
I did start out, I was doing everything. Like, there were three of us here. I was writing and doing all that, and we had an editor and a project manager, and that was it. And I'm involved in all that, but it's not, primarily I sit back here and make the next, and sell the next one while they're working on the current thing.
Gotcha.
And I do most of the record label stuff is pretty much all me now. There's not really anybody else who works on that except Janice. But yeah, that's how we started doing educational videos. We eventually ran out of topics, really, financially viable topics. Like, we covered all the big ones, and then we covered the secondary topics.
You said you had
videos
50
for high
of
school.
these, right? Yeah.
They sell directly to high schools. They're 15 minutes long. They're funny. They're educational videos that I wish were available when I was in high school, and the teachers really love them, and they've won awards, and they sell really well, and kids love them. We have kids that watch our cartoon on Turner that end up emailing us like, are you the same company that made those educational videos we watched?
Oh, really?
We figured out they've been viewed by like well over 1 million people.
Wow.
Because I mean, with the number that we've sold times, 90 kids a year, because I mean they're being played in classrooms for 30 kids at a time in 3 classes. So when you do all the multiplication all the way through, it's a couple million kids have seen our videos now. So even though it's sort of more prestigious to say, and we feel good about saying, oh, we have a show on Turner, the bottom line is like our educational videos have brought us way more notoriety than Turner could possibly want to do, because we're in the schools.
What would you say the reach of your deal with Turner is? Because you're saying the educational videos, that reach is 2 million. What do you think the reach with Turner is?
It's really hard to say, and that's sort of the whole problem because our primary outlet is online for them.
Okay.
It's so hard to track because they have a counter when people go to the site and watch it, but if they embed it or link to it or whatever, it doesn't count. They don't have a counter.
So
they have no idea. I think someone there might know.
All right.
One of you know more about this than I do with the computer background, but I mean, someone there knows. But last time I tried to get numbers on it, it took them well over a week to get back at me.
Astonishing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it was, I'd say. Like probably 500,000 different people have watched our show.
Okay.
Which in cable TV terms is pretty good. I don't know. There's a whole we could have an hour conversation about my feelings on the internet. But I will go
throw in a few feelings. That would be good.
Record right now.
Okay.
And everybody watching this can laugh at me and they can say I'm wrong.
Right.
And I don't care.
So half of them might say you're right. Okay. We have a diverse crew.
You don't know what I'm about to say.
Okay. All right.
The internet's a fad. It's it's gold rush. People think that after the .com bubble burst that the gold rush is over. The gold rush is not over.
Okay.
It's changing faces and stuff. But the bottom line is there's still way more money being pumped into the internet than is coming out of it. Well, the bottom line is we need people to filter that for us because that's way more if everybody can talk to everybody else at the same time.
Right.
Like, come on, communication majors out there, you can't process all that information, and most of it, the internet has done a lot of really cool things and a lot of really terrible things have been put up on the internet.
Right.
The vast
so there's still value in editorial is what you're saying.
Right. The vast majority of what's out there on the internet is in this completely worthless and boring middle part. And advertising on the internet, that by advertising on the internet, I'm going to make money back. We've tried advertising on the internet. A lot of people I've talked to have tried advertising on the internet. It only works in very specific cases.
Right. But I think what you're making, the larger case I hear you making here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that in essence what you're saying is you're kind of on the internet going back to the old trusted channel concept that we might have had back in broadcast TV days.
I like to call it the filter concept.
Okay.
We need trusted filters to filter out all that crap.
Okay.
So I need to be able to select somebody and say, you New York Times, I trust you to filter this crap out for me.
Right.
You Atlantic Records, I trust you to filter out. There are so many terrible bands out there that I just don't need to listen to.